Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. And today I'm gonna be updating my project Level Up, which is a project inspired or created by Sophie Alexandra. She's absolutely amazing. She's a wonderful planner and you should definitely check out her channel. I will leave her linked down below, so please check her out. She is incredible. And I've been working on this palette for my level 2. I've reached level 5 and now I'm like going back to level 1, and last update I was able to level up to level 2. So that's the Spooked palette. It's quite an old palette in my collection. It's one of the first palettes I reviewed on this channel, so this is pretty nostalgic and I wanted it to look a little bit more interesting, so and like used. So I'm really happy that I was actually able to roll this one in. And let me walk you through all the uses, if I was able to hit my goals. In case you don't know what project level up means, it's kind of like a panning and no pen left behind combination. So depending on the level you're at, you have to no pen left behind that palette certain amount of times and hit certain amount of pens. So if you're on level 1, you have to use every single shade once. That's the no pen left behind part. And you have to hit 1 pen. For level 2, which is currently what I'm at, I have to use every single shade twice. I think this has 12 shades. No, this has 14 shades. So I had to use every single shade twice and I had to hit 2 pans. So let me kind of walk you through if I was able to hit all of these goals and see if we can level up to level 3. Before I'm gonna do that though, please like this video in case you like panning content or any content in this genre. Comment down below what is your current like panning project, like what you're kind of focusing on at the moment. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows, I love testing new eyeshadow palettes, but also I love panning. I love kind of repurposing my collection, using it as much as I can. I do wear makeup every single day. I wear quite colorful makeup every single day. And I do makeup diaries in case you want to get inspired by what to wear. But that's kind of all for the intro. Now let me kind of slightly move to the side. I'm gonna put how the palette looked like last month, and I'm gonna go on first row and then the second row and share with you the number of uses. So I track both the uses of an individual eyeshadow. So every single time I do my look, I count every single eyeshadow that I've used, but I also count the amount of looks I was able to create with the entire palette. So how many times I used that palette for look. And I'm gonna share both of these statistics with you. So the first shade, called Ghoul, which is a matte white shade, I was able to use exactly twice. I think the second time happened like 3 days ago. Then we have the shade Trick, which I also used 2 times. Then we have Apple Bob, which I also used 2 times. I'm actually wearing it today in the outer part of the eyeshadow and like the eyeshadow look. So that one was also twice. Then we have the shade Haunted, which I also used 2 times. And I have it as a blush today, mixing it with like a cream eyeshadow to make it not super orange. Then we have the shade Bloody, which I used 4 times. It is one of the shades that I'm trying to hit a pan on. Then we have the shade Fright, which is that deep kind of wine color. And that one I used twice exactly, and the same goes for the shade Cauldron, which is the last shade on the first row. It's that kind of like a really vibrant purple. Then on the second row, we have the shade Scream, which is that kind of olivey matte green. I've used it 2 times. The second time was actually today. I have it in my crease. Then we have, and next is the shade Pumpkin, which I've used 2 times as well. I've used it as a blush, highlighter once and once in my inner corner. Then we have the shade Spellbook, which is a matte brown. I've used that 2 times as well. Then the shade Treat, also used that 2 times. It's that like shimmery purple. Next to that we have the shade Spirit, that kind of goldy champagne with a little bit of green. That one I've used 3 times. Then we have the shade Terror, which is that matte red. I've used that 2 times, and the same goes for the last shade called Spooky, which is that matte black shade. So if you've been paying attention, you would know that I've used every single shade at least 2 times. And now let me show you how the pad looks like and if I was able to hit any bands. So here in the shade Pumpkin, we already had a pan when it was rolled in at the last update. I don't know if it was very obvious from the picture, but there was a pan prior to this project, and I think you can see on camera that these two shades, the shade Bloody and the shade Spirit, have a pan. Both actually happened today. So the shade Bloody is here in this first half of the lid, and the shade Spirit I have in the inner corner, kind of slightly towards the lower lash line. And I was able to hit pans on both of these. What's funny is I've actually filmed my last update like 10 days ago. And I've already hit the pan, and I think I even asked in that last video, how long do you think it's gonna take me to reach level 3? And I think somebody mentioned like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, so it was 10 days. Because I've been really enjoying wearing this, and I've been wearing it almost every single day. I haven't worn it a lot on the weekends because I've been trying to kind of film a little bit more interesting videos, but I have actually worn it a bit. I've worn this for like a really purpley look on Sunday, and for me now it's Tuesday, but it's probably a couple weeks prior for you because I'm actually pre-filming this. I don't know when I'm gonna upload this, but I decided to roll the new palette in, film this update, and then if I'm gonna be really quick with my progress, then I'm gonna upload this video sooner than it's supposed to go up. But if it's gonna take me a lot of time to work on my level 3, I still have this update ready for you, and then I can just give myself like almost 2 months worth of working on the level 3, because obviously that will be a lot more challenging, especially since I don't know if I'm not gonna roll like a really big palette. That could also happen. So I decided to update this sooner. And now let me tell you how long it took to actually hit pan. So in this project, I used the shade Bloody 4 times, but it already had 5 prior uses. So in total, it took me 9 uses to hit a pan on this shade. And I think what really helps is that these are square pans, and with square pans it's usually easier to hit pan than on round pans, because there's more surface with the square pans, so the layer of eyeshadow is like thinner. And also what I've noticed, and I don't know if this isn't the fact that this is an older formula, but these shades, especially like Pumpkin and Bloody, which are the same formula, they're really dry. Like, not to the point that it's uncomfortable, but compared to indie eyeshadows that I know, these are very dry. And also they didn't have much pigment actually, so I had to use quite a bit to actually make them show up on me. And I've noticed that with pretty much all of the shimmers, but these two were particular for that. And I think the shade Pumpkin also took like 8 or 9 total uses to hit pan on, so I think that's just the formula. These both kind of feel like if you would take loose pigments, like loose multichromes, and you just press them into palette. Like, it doesn't feel like they have any binder in there, so yeah, it takes very little effort to actually hit pan on these. And also the pans aren't like full to the brim, like they actually have quite a bit of space left. I mean, yeah, most of them. This shade, this purpley one, and this purpley one are pretty full in the pan, but otherwise they have quite a lot of space left. So yeah, I don't think even the matte shades probably wouldn't take that long to hit pan on, but I didn't really want to work on matte shades. And then the shade Spirit, it took me 3 uses in this project, but it already had 6 prior uses, so it also took 9 uses. And yeah, I think either all of the shimmers took 9 uses or this one took 8. So it's a very standard formula for me. Obviously, what I have to account for, the shade Spirit shattered on me like a year ago, and I had to repress it, but I think I was able to repress pretty much every single particle of that because it just broke. Like, I just opened it like this and it was broken, so none of that really shattered outside of the pad. At least that's how I remember it. Maybe there was a little bit of loss, but I think it was okay. So this one is a little bit like looser in the pan, but also I would use it in the inner corners. So even if I would actually lose some of the product, the fact that I'm using it in the inner corners and not all over the lid, I don't get to hit the pan as quickly as with like something I would use my fingers to apply, and I would use it all over the lid. So that's just to let you know. And yeah, I'm very happy that I now have 3 pans. I think this palette is like 3 years old, so it was about time, and it is beautiful. I always say that this is like a perfect neutral but fun and colorful color story. Like I feel like I could use this palette for a very long time in a row and I would still not really get bored. I do like the selection. You have some really beautiful neutrals, especially if you're more like a olive undertone. You have beautiful neutrals here and you have beautiful colors as well. So yeah, this one. And I love the fact that you have matte white and matte black, and they're both wonderful formula. I love Gourmand Girls mattes, like they're genuinely wonderful. And when it comes to the totals of this palette had 23 looks done with it when I wrote it 10 days ago, and now we're at 29 looks created with this palette. So I've used it for 6 looks, and within 6 looks I was able to No Pen Left Behind this 2 times over. I was actually surprised how easy it was. Like pretty much I would either use this half for that like warm look or this half for the like cooler vampire look. So yeah, it didn't took too much. It only took 6 looks to completely finish all of my goals, and I'm very, very happy about this. Like I did not expect that it would take this little time. Like I knew that it's not gonna take long if I'm gonna focus on it. I knew I could probably do it within 2 weeks, but I didn't expect 10 days. that's surprising even for me. But now let me actually get my Tiny Decisions app and the wheel, and I think we have 39 options because I don't have super small palettes that wouldn't really fit all the criteria. So palettes that have less than 4 shades, I think I haven't really used for this. And also large palettes. I don't have any like 20 pans and over palettes here, I think. Or is there something that's like 20 pans? No, I think I think everything that's 20 pans and more I've excluded from this project because that would be just too much for me. Maybe I'm gonna add them for next year, but this year, since I'm starting and this is my first year of Project Level Up, I just don't want to complicate it too much and I don't want to overwhelm myself, especially since I still have Project 20 uses, and like this would be just impossible. So there's only one slot that's blackened, but the Spooked palette should also be. So in case we roll it, I'm just gonna re-roll. And I hope all the palettes are up to date. I hope there isn't something that I can't work on. But yeah, let's see what it's gonna be. I'm kind of nervous. Blem Bunny and Linz. It's kind of a new palette. But okay, I'm gonna do it. Let me actually get it because it's behind me somewhere. The only like upside of this is that it's not a big palette. So this is how it looks like. It's this beautiful Blem Bunny, Glisten, and Linz collaboration. I have both the Glisten Waterliner palette and this palette, and this is how it looks like. But now that I'm looking at it, I think 2 shades are actually not original to this palette, but they're from the Beauty Below from Blem Bunny. So I might have to actually swap the shades because I think these 2 are not originally from this palette. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check the shades. But anyways, this is mostly matte palette, and I don't have any pans on my Blem Bunny palettes. Like I only have this shade called Slate, but that's shimmer. So I'm obviously gonna try to hit pan on the other shimmer, which is called Bepis. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. And then like we need 2 other pans, and I don't know what that would be. I mean, I do like these 2, and I would use them a lot together. and they're really pretty, and this one I can use as a blush as well. Maybe I could probably go towards these two. Let me get the color story straight and I'll decide what to do with this. Okay, so this is how the palette looks like. I think I'm gonna hold it like this so that you can actually properly see the color story. So these two are actually changed up, or no, these two. But they're back to where they're supposed to be. I do love this color story. And I'm actually gonna receive tomorrow for me the Cleonat On Top of the World collection. So I think I could do like 3 looks with the Cleona palette and use these mattes for the like crease, and that would give me at least 1 use on all of them within the next 3 days if I'm gonna actually like film with it immediately. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to hit pan on this one, that's for sure. And then I guess I'm just gonna decide after my 3 uses what I'm gonna go for. These two are definitely contenders. Nail Day could be maybe the white. I do like that white. Yeah, I think those are probably these are the most probable contenders. I mean, in my other projects, I'm mostly working on shimmer, so I think it's fine that I'm gonna be working on these matte shades. I am trying to finish up a couple mattes for my Pendos palettes, but otherwise, I think this should be quite easy to do. Fingers crossed, right? So yeah, this is the color story, and so far I've used this palette for 13 looks. I've had it, I think I reviewed it during January, so it's not even a year old for me. And the most used shade is obviously the shade Slay, because it was in my Pendos eyeshadows at the beginning of the year, like I think it was like March or something. And the other shades are used mostly 2 times. I think the only ones, this one has been used 3 times, this one as well. But for example, the graphic tee I've only used once, so yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna be working on. I'm not gonna re-roll, I'm not gonna like change this. At least it's like a smaller palette, it's 15 pan, so that shouldn't take that long to go through this 3 times over. Like within like 3 looks, I can go over all the shades. So within 9 looks, I should be able to do my usage goal. And then I just have to focus on the matte shades. I definitely don't think that with the next update I'm gonna be able to level up, but at least I could hit like 1 or 2 bands since I'm gonna be working on it for almost 2 months. So yeah, let me know how long do you think it's gonna take me, and how many updates will this take for me to actually finish my goals. I don't even know how much of product you have, but it says that you have 20.8 grams of product, which would mean that there's more than 1 gram per each pan, which is quite a lot. But also there's square pans, and as we just said, it's a little bit easier for square pans to have a pan because it's like there's more surface area. I don't know, I wish this had more shimmers, but yeah, that's the one. Let me know how you've enjoyed this video, what you thought about this update, and I'll be super happy to see you tomorrow with another video. So bye.